It's that time of the year where we start to think about FIFA 23 and what insane cards we all could be using next year. And whilst we're here, if you're looking for any FIFA 22 Ultimate Team coins, be sure to go and check out u7buy.com, link down in the description below. Use Jack54 at checkout for a discount. Before we get started, name one player in the comment section below who you are so excited to use next year in Ultimate Team. So to kick things off, we've got a nice little 4-3-3 formation. Yes, we've got a couple of wingers in here, 3 midfielders, and obviously a nice back 4 with a striker up top. Now, I'm not going to lie, there's a kind of lack of movement in the transfer market right now regarding goalkeepers, and the only thing I keep seeing is Scott Carson signing a 1-year extension for Manchester City. However, I do have to say this. I actually think it's quite a good move for City. He seems like a really good player to have in and around the dressing room. Even if they don't make it onto the pitch all too often, it's very good to have a player like that. So I can see why. However, there is one player that has actually been linked with Chelsea and Real Madrid, and that is Skriniar. He currently plays for Chicago Fire. Haven't actually heard too much about him. He has a 52 rated card on Ultimate Team currently. However, I think if he did move to Chelsea or Real Madrid, you're probably going to be getting a 75 rated card, because that is how EA decide ratings work. It is as simple as that. If you guys have seen much of him, and if any of my American viewers watch him week in, week out for Chicago, then please let me know in the comment section below how good he is, because apparently he's a proper bright talent. Now we will start with the left back spot, and I've got to say Marcelo has been an absolute legend. He's the most decorated player for Real Madrid, who picked up his 25th trophy. That is right, yes, 25th trophy for his time at Real Madrid. In Real's 120-year-old history, no player has got any more than that. It's quite literally incredible, and you have to say, you got to tip your hat to him. He has been absolutely sensational, and do you know what? I think he's still going to stay in Europe. By the sounds of it, he had a few offers to go elsewhere, but the two front runners seem to be Fenerbahce and also Marseille. Fenerbahce can obviously guarantee him some Champions League football, so on that side of things, he could be going. I think he's after for about a 6 million a year salary, which, to be honest, probably isn't much of a scratch on what he's been earning at Real Madrid over the years. But of course, we wish him all the best. Could be bitter about this, seeing as they did beat Liverpool in the final, but you do have to hold your hands up. He is a true legend of the game. Now moving over to the right hand side, we have got a man linked with Liverpool, and that is Calvin Ramsey. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I've watched loads of this lad, but from what it seems like, he's a very, very good player, and one that's really, really sought after in the Scottish Premier League. Currently plays for Dundee. He's 18 years old, and he's got a bag of potential to unlock. And to be honest, Liverpool is not a bad place to move to. I've seen £10 million is the figure that Dundee are asking for, which you can't really blame them, considering we clearly have a bit of money in our bank, considering we've just spent 80 million euros on Darwin Núñez. So, as a Liverpool fan myself, I'd love to see this get over the line. Obviously, when you hear of good Scottish talents, it's always exciting, especially considering our left back, Andy Robertson, is captain for Scotland. Now, moving on to the centre-backs. The first one we're going to run through is Koundé. As you know, Tony Rudiger has left Chelsea, and he is now at Real Madrid, and Chelsea are definitely going to be in the market for a nice centre-back. However, these talks and these negotiations seem to have been going on for absolutely ages. I'm pretty sure in January he was supposed to move to Chelsea. And I'm not even going to lie, I think it might have even been last summer that he was initially linked with Chelsea. But to be honest, we all know how good Koundé is, especially in that Sevilla side. Do you guys think he'll be a great addition to Chelsea? I think he will be, and I think if Chelsea can reach the £60 million valuation of him, I'm sure it's going to get over the line. However, there is one little hiccup. Turns out Jules Koundé does actually need surgery, so that might be a minor hiccup in the way that Chelsea sign him. However, it does sound like it's been for a long-term injury, and to be honest, getting that sorted is probably the #1 priority. There's also been no date as how long Koundé will be out on the sidelines for, but to be honest, this kind of stuff happens regularly with footballers nowadays, so I'm sure it's not going to be a problem. The second centre-back is Skriniar. Now, this man is heavily linked with PSG, but I think Inter are going to be holding out for that 80 million euros. He's clearly highly regarded by Inter, and it's no secret that he's a very, very, very good player. I think by the sounds of it, PSG might try and lure Inter by using Kera as a bit of a cash and player deal, but we'll soon see. That leads me on to a player that Inter are definitely wanting to be signing and have actually picked up the pace with in the past few days, and it's Lukaku. So you've got to think, if they're going to be wanting to purchase Lukaku back from Chelsea, they're probably going to need a decent chunk of money despite the performances that Lukaku has had in a Chelsea shirt. But I'm pretty sure Inter don't have tons of funds, so Skriniar selling for a certain amount might be what makes Lukaku move back to Inter. Now we obviously head now into the midfield, and we'll start with another Liverpool target. That is of course Jude Bellingham. This man has been linked with Liverpool for a fair while. It's no secret that Klopp is incredibly interested in signing this man and really wants to make him part of our midfield. However, Dortmund are rather against the idea of letting him move this summer, probably for the fact that Haaland has just moved to City and they are or were their two biggest players. And to be honest, from a Liverpool point of view, it's probably quite worrying considering our midfield options aren't the greatest at the moment and a few players in there are definitely quite injury prone. So it sounds pretty likely if we don't sign him this summer, we will be signing him next summer. However, it's a little bit worrying because it obviously gives the chance for other clubs to get involved as well. Would you like to see Bellingham in a Liverpool shirt? Let me know in the comment section below. Now we're going to be moving on to the interested player. It seems like whoever Manchester United are linked with, they're not really linked with them, they're just interested. They don't really put their foot forward and go ahead and actually, you know, negotiate or put in an offer or anything for that matter. And unfortunately, the lack of efficiency from Manchester United's end has started to lure in other clubs. And obviously now the other side of Manchester is getting involved. There's rumours now De Jong could be used in a swap deal to lure the priceless Bernardo Silva to Barcelona, which seems absolutely incredible. Honestly, if De Jong goes to Manchester City, you can kind of see it happening. It would just be absolutely incredible. But of course, there are two sides to these two players. Now, De Jong, obviously, it's his dream club. He's already come out and said that Barcelona is the biggest club in the world, and it was only a couple of years ago he moved there for his dream move, and to be honest, for the state of the club, it probably hasn't gone exactly how he expected, so he might feel like there's a little bit of unfinished business at Barcelona, and quite frankly, he's right to feel that. On the other hand, you've got Bernardo Silva, who really has had an incredible time at Manchester City. He was almost going to leave last summer, but Pep managed to lure him back, and he stayed and obviously had an absolutely incredible season, winning the title with Manchester City and really stamping himself as an out-and-out world-class player. But it does seem like there's maybe a little bit of unrest there, and Bernardo Silva might want a new challenge, and obviously, for a lot of players, a dream is to play for one of the Spanish giants, so potential for this deal to happen, but the likelihood is for an actual swap deal, it's probably less likely to happen than likely. Now, talking of Manchester United, there is actually rumours, well, there is actual concrete interest in a right winger that plays for Ajax, and it's no secret that it is Antony. This man obviously was managed under Ten Hag at Ajax and is obviously rated rather highly by him. Manchester United have not really had a proper right winger for quite some years, arguably up to a decade. So this is probably a position that is really something that they want to sort out. Obviously, they did sign Sancho, who can play on the right or on the left, but again, it's definitely a position that they need to fill. From the speculation, it sounds like there's around a 50 million euro bid that is expected to be submitted anytime now. And to be honest, I've seen a lot of Antony playing for Ajax in the Champions League and just a few highlights in general, and I really do think he'll be a great addition to the Premier League, albeit for my team's rivals. Moving on to the other wing now, and again, it is a Liverpool player, but it's not a player that is going to be coming to Liverpool. It's going to be a player that's leaving Liverpool. Sadio Mane's era at Liverpool is now finally up, and he is pushing for a move to Bayern Munich. It's no secret that he has been absolutely incredible for us and definitely one of the driving forces to the success that we've had over the years. And yes, I know there's going to be a few people saying that we haven't been successful. And yes, you could argue that we should have won more titles, but Manchester City have also been in the running of things and they've been absolutely outstanding themselves. But to be honest, I don't think any Liverpool fan can be bitter about the move from Sadio Mane. He's left everything on that pitch, and quite frankly, if he wants a new challenge, I'm not against it. You've got to support a man that has given his absolute all for the club that he's played for the past 7 years. Over the past couple of days, it's been made apparent Bayern are now ready to submit a deal which which is around the margin of what Liverpool are looking to sell him for. I think the fee is around £42.5 million. However, I can see maybe a €35 million deal or £1 million deal, and then with some add-ons as well, depending on appearances, goals, etc., and just achievements. But it does look like it's nailed on for Mane to move to Bayern Munich this summer. I think he'll be a great addition to the Bundesliga, and obviously could give Bayern Munich that push back into the top tier of European football. And no, I'm not saying Bayern Munich haven't been doing that, but obviously for the biggest German club, you'd expect them to be really pushing into the semis and the final of the Champions League most years, and it's no secret that last year was fairly disappointing for them in that regard. Now, talking of Bayern Munich, we're now getting on to what can only be described as a Bayern Munich legend. Now, it does seem like things have got a little bit bitter for Lewandowski at Bayern Munich, but it has to be said this man has been arguably the best striker on the planet for the past few years. It sounds like a deal to Barcelona could be done, but obviously there's a few financial issues at their end, and quite frankly, the longer this goes on, the more chance other clubs are going to be getting involved in, like I said, arguably the best striker in world football. Do you think he'd be a good fit for Barcelona? I think it's guaranteed goals wherever he goes. I personally would have liked to see him at Liverpool in some kind of swap and cash deal for Sadio Mane, but we have now signed Darwin Núñez, so that's completely out of the equation. And to be honest, it was probably rather hopeful and almost like a dream scenario. But anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. These are just some of the cards that we could be seeing in FIFA 23. I will do an episode 2 if you guys would like to see it. Every single day at the moment, there are so many transfer rumours, and quite frankly, we could make 2 or 3 more videos. Be sure to subscribe if you're new around here, click that like button, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.